Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Humans Are Complicated, written by MaddTroll. I am Shalexandra Morningstar, a Jandari. For the last 6 months, I've been living amongst humans. Those gigantic, terrifying, fearless humans with their weapons, armor, and relentlessness. Humans came to Jandar to aid us. To be honest, they came to save us from extinction. Were it not for the humans, we Jandari would no longer exist. Jandar had been invaded by the Cataracts, a huge, vile, and brutal reptilian species that claimed we Jandari were invaders on our own home world. They claimed our world was theirs according to an ancient prophecy, and that we were an offense to their god. They were intent on purging what they said was our offensive existence from Jandar. The humans called bullshit, to use their term, and came to drive the Cataracts back to their own space. The Cataracts have no morals and kill as much for pleasure as any other reason. They see killing civilians as a sporting side of war. They even held competitions to see who amongst them could kill more of us at a set time. The human view of killing civilians or medics is well known, and when they learned of the hunts, their plans changed. No longer content to drive the Cataracts back to their space, they now set out to exterminate them. They destroyed almost every Cataract ship in orbit. Those that ran did so with a hunting pack of human ships in pursuit. Humans are persistent hunters. There is no escape. For our safety, all non-essential civilians and all children were evacuated from Jandar. Being a musician, dancer, and most importantly to the humans, a mother, I was a priority for evacuation. My young twins, Zoella and Shantara, saw our evacuation as an adventure, and were excited. I knew of humans as a warrior race that no one dared to go up against, and what I had seen on Jandar only reinforced that image. We were placed on a human ship to take us to Earth. It was a rapidly repurposed passenger liner, comfortable enough, but being surrounded by humans was rather unnerving. We Jandari are a small species. We women average 1.2 meters tall, our men 1.4. and we weigh between 30 and 55 kilos. Humans are about 2 meters tall, some closer to 2.2, and weigh between 100 and 140 kilos, terrifyingly huge to us. Spending the next indefinite amount of time amongst the humans was not something I was looking forward to, but my concern for my children's safety stiffened my spine. Once aboard, I learned about a whole other aspect of human nature. They are the most accommodating, caring, and creative people. Truly gentle giants with huge hearts and delightful senses of humor. The trip to Earth was to take 3 weeks, so I decided to let Zoe and Sean have their adventure and treat the trip as a holiday. The humans went above and beyond to make our journey pleasant and prepare us for Earth. The shipboard entertainment net was filled with documentaries about the wonders of Earth. Mountains so high they tickled the stars, forests as large as the biggest Jandari islands, lakes the size of oceans, and plains that stretched almost to infinity. Then the human creations. Ancient cities that are so old the builders have been forgotten, so huge that they are larger than our capital. Modern cities filled with light, sound, and life, so tall they seem to be reaching for the stars. Buildings over 1,000 tons old, still sound enough to be lived in. Ancient windmills that have been in constant use for over 2,000 turns. As an artist, the cultures of Earth fascinated me. Earth is as fractured a world as the stories say, but for the arts, this is a decided benefit. So much and so varied architecture and art, From cave paintings made by early humans before a hint of civilization to towering art installations out in space. Millions of paintings, from as small as my hands to the entire exterior walls of large buildings. Sculptures, from figurines to colossi over 100 meters tall. And the music, the wonderful, almost infinite music. Millions of recordings of every imaginable type of music, and some that are beyond imagination. From simple rhythms played on hollow logs to sweeping orchestral music involving dozens of instruments and players. Humans are breathtaking. Zoe and Sean were having the adventure of a lifetime. With a child's lack of fear or inhibition, they were learning the fun side of humans. And no, that is not an oxymoron. Humans specially trained in educating children while having fun with them took charge of the kids for several hours a day. This gave the mothers a break and the children time to play actively and make noise without getting shushed by overstressed adults. Games galore. Some were activity games, like scavenger hunts, hide-and-go-seek, or Zoe's favorite, Simon Says. She likes being in charge. Board games that taught sharing and cooperation. Video games that let them play at being animals. Or heroes, anything but kids trapped on a spaceship. They even ran races and did acrobatics in the exercise areas of the ship. Gus, a musician and a sweet man, was among the edutainers aboard. He played several instruments and often led the children in singing. He taught them human songs and told stories. One day, he decided to teach the kids to play a simple instrument called a penny whistle. A cacophony, as kids tried to master the trick of not blowing too hard, must have been tough on poor Gus's ears. But by the day's end, the kids could play the Earth tune from memory. It was called Greensleeves, and it was an old traditional tune from the Earth's nation called Britain. Zoe and Sean were so pleased with themselves that they almost dragged me to the music class the next day to have me hear them. I arrived in the music room to be greeted by Gus. He was delighted to have an adult join his class. I told him about my vocation, and his blue eyes sparkled. He gave me a whistle and some instruction papers that explained the basics of how to play and human music notation in its simplest form. I learned quickly and found the penny whistle to be very similar to the Jandari sulfate. Soon, I was adept enough to start slipping into familiar tunes. Gus's eyes lit up at the unfamiliar music. He excitedly asked if I would play some of the dance music I knew best. I played my own favorite, Zandarian, a lively tune named for a flower, one often given as a token of affection. I found my feet moving without any conscious thought. Soon, I was lost in the music. I found myself up and dancing as I played. My feet were stepping sprightly, and my body swaying and twisting as I danced around the room. A drum beat joined my music. I looked over to see Gus playing an odd drum I later learned was called a bodram. He held the drum in one hand and played the complicated rhythm with the other. I found myself leading the kids in a line of dance around the room. Their dance was more playing than dance, but it was delightful. Finally, I collapsed into a chair, entirely out of breath. Gus stood up and started clapping and shouting, "Bravo!" over and over, until the children joined him. I don't think I had ever smiled that wide before. And that is how I learned that humans, when angered, are the most formidable foe in the galaxy, while also being the most caring, welcoming, accommodating, and generous people in the galaxy. Humans really are complicated. End of story. I just want to quickly thank the T5 channel members and patrons: Alithia, Barky, Trygan95, Beautycure, Meridian117, Cam Maxwell, Casper Arnholt, Jordan Bucksborn, Angry Marine, Albard and Gusta, Savage Patch Papa, and Arcadian. The algorithm reckons you should be watching this video next, and I recommend that you should be always watching my video. So, clickety-click. Without energy! And yes, clicking that does help the channel. Thank you very much.